down every single fight, and also money movements. Our guys have been 47 and 19 since we started up these shows. Our Follow the Action is the fastest growing podcast in the world. You can download it Apple or Spotify. You can also go on our YouTube channel. You have all kinds of unique, exclusive content, and our entire podcast is on video on our YouTube channel. We are downloaded in over 1,800 cities, over 60 countries, all 50 states, for a very good reason, because we have the very best in the world that are working with us. And I think one of them is just joining us right now. I'm very excited about that. But let me go for a little introduction. He's been called the future of sports betting. He is Matt from the College Kids. Matt's going to be on the show today breaking down the fights with us. Also, the best combat sports handicapper in the world, Joey Bagels. Mr. Bagel Time, Joey Odessa is joining us. And now if we can get a camera that's working while the man is driving down the road, we may film a live crash scene if we don't. Yeah. He is fighting out of the city of brotherly love. He is the Philly Godfather. He's in a car driving down to Atlantic City. Philly Godfather, where the heck you going? Because obviously you're going somewhere. Tell us what you're doing.
I got a big wager on placing at the Oceans. I got 5 guys there. I got 5 beards because they don't let me bet there no more. I tried to put some parlay cards in there yesterday, and they shut me down. So I got 5 guys waiting to fire for me at the Oceans in Atlantic City.
Well, let's go through the card then. Let's go ahead and start. We got 11 fights tonight. We've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is Dave Mason from BetOnline will not be joining us. If you've heard, you don't know if you keep up with sports betting, BetOnline will have some type of cyber hack, a nightmare for any company. They're dealing with that right now. Dave's a great guy. He's been a big part of our program. We wish him, BetOnline, the best in going through what is a nightmare scenario. That's the bad news, that Dave Mason won't be with us. The good news, Jonathan Coach won't be with us either. So we got lucky. Yeah, but we're still
someone might break a leg again.
There's no doubt about that. What's that, Matt?
Someone who might break a leg again.
That's right. Thank God he didn't bet on Seabiscuit. They didn't put the horse down before he won. Well, let's go through the entire fight. What's that, Philly Godfather?
As long as I don't crash, we're okay.
As long as he doesn't crash.
He's going to get pulled over for speed.
Off the trunk.
So let's go through
the cops. Don't worry about it.
We got bantamweight matchup is the first matchup. We got Syed Nurmagomedov. He is a Russian. 15-2. I got these odds last night, and I looked at them again today. They've hardly moved, so I'm going to give you the odds from last night because they're the notes that I have down. If they haven't moved more than 10 basis points, I'm not going to say anything. If they move more than 10, I'll the updated odds. There was Syed is 13-2. He's a Russian. 3-0 record on KOs, TKOs. 3-0 also on submissions. He is fighting Mark Striegel, who is making his UFC debut. Mark Striegel is 18-2. And of those 18 wins, he has 14 submissions. 0 knockouts, never been knocked out himself. He's also lost 2 fights, both by submission. He is a southpaw from the Philippines. In this bantamweight matchup, it is a 2.5 round over-under. And the bets were pretty evenly split. Slightly more bets were put on the Syed, the big Russian. 2.5 is the round total. As I said, it cost you minus 230 to bet the over on this. Mr. Joey Odessa, it's time. It's time. It's bagel time. What do you got, Joey?
These early bouts, I mean, you probably, with those charts you're looking at, there's not a lot of action on them. You know, the first 2 bouts in particular, this Nurmagomedov is a Dagestani kid, but, I don't know. He's not, you can't lay this price. I got nothing on this fight. I imagine you got a lot of parlays on there, JBL, on that thing you're looking at. They probably
quite a few, and I didn't give the odds that I should have. You got minus 410 is what it was last night. It's moved about 5 or 10 basis points total, the line total. So a lot of guys are taking the Russian Syed in several different parlays.
And for the record, guys, these charts that JBL is referring to are from one of the largest books in the Americas. Not a U.S. sports book, but one of the largest offshore books. That's very, comparable to Bet Online. I think it's probably bigger than Bet Online. So these numbers are pretty accurate. If you're questioning it.
Yeah, the bet count is pretty accurate. Now it's going to be pretty much the same across the board. We didn't have any sharp money on that first fight. Joy, you're not taking a bet on the...
No, I'm not touching this fight. I'm not betting.
Price too high?
Yeah, it's just too high. And the other kid, the other kid was 2-1 in that ONE FC. I didn't bet anything on this fight. No, pass for me. He's probably priced so high because he's from Dagestan, but
Matt, do you have something on this fight?
I don't have nothing on this fight. I know Mark Striegel. He's a guy that grinds, wears his opponents down and everything, and he wears them down with that wrestling style. And Nurmagomedov, if that's how you say his name, he has some experience, but I'm not laying 415 on him.
Yeah, it's almost 4-1 odds to lay the favorite there in the first fight. And when you have a lot of unknown, especially when you have a UFC debut in Mark Striegel, it's kind of tough. Yeah. As Joey Odessa has always told us, it's hard to get. I was a Division II college football player, and people, when they recruit Division II, they don't know for sure if the talent they're playing against is comparable to Division I. So when you make All-American, you don't know if it's comparable. It's very similar when people step up to UFC. You don't know if the leagues that they were in, how accurate those fight records are. As Joey has gone into detail about.
Yeah, exactly.
Next fight is a light heavyweight matchup. It is Antigloth. I can't pronounce his first name, so I'm not even going to try. He's a Russian. The bet count is slightly more, just about 30% more on Antigloth. He is 20-7. As far as knockouts and TKOs, he's 4-4. 15 submissions to his credit. So of his 20 wins, 19 have come by stoppages, but he has 7 losses. As I say, 4 by knockout, TKO, 3 by submission. He's lost his last 3 fights, and those 3 fights have taken place, one each in 2020, 2019, and 2018. Of his last 5 UFC fights, he's 2-3. All 5 have ended in the first round, where he lost twice and where he won twice and lost 3 times. He's fighting the favorite here, which is Maximus Grisham, who's minus 350 as a favorite. The Russian is 38-2 as far as his overall record, 15-2 as far as KOs, TKOs, 6-4 as far as submissions. He's fought 1 time in 2020, which was a loss to Taburo with a unanimous decision back in July. The over-under is 1.5 rounds, and it is you get plus 120 to bet the over on that 1.5 rounds. Joey, what do you got on this fight?
I think, again, he's priced high. This Grisham and that Nurmagomedov, the first guy the last fight we talked about, they fight on the same team. They trained on the same team, that Akhmat Fight Club or whatever it was. And anyways, Grisham is Russian. Well, I think you said that, but I think Grisham wins this fight. Look, Antigloth is going to come out here, and Antigloth is a one-round wonder. He's either going to go out there and win quick, or he's going to lose quick. And Grisham fought over in the PFL. His last fight against Taburo was actually at heavyweight. He's down in weight now at his right weight. I think Grisham wins this fight. I don't know why they would give him Antigloth. Like you said, Antigloth lost his last 3. You know what? I like under. I wouldn't bet Grisham in this fight. I think Grisham wins this fight, but for me, it looks too easy. Yeah. It looks too easy. They've been getting these PFL guys beat. You know what? You put a gun to my head, I got to tell you, I probably got to like Antigloth. I'm changing my mind.
I kind of like it. I like him too a little bit, Joey.
When you say it out loud sometimes, like when you hear yourself say it, you'll realize, when you say something dumb, you catch yourself, in a social setting. And a lot of times with these fights, when you say stuff out loud, I process the information differently. And you know what? I think it's Antigloth or pass here. I think, the more I look at this matchup with Grisham, he is coming down and weight.
And Joy, are you betting under on this?
I think, it's supposed to go under. Yeah. I forget about the total. I just talk myself into Antigloth. And it's painful because he's not, he's gotten beat 3 times in a row.
Yeah, he's been bad.
Jesus, these PFL guys, they just don't do well in the UFC.
So, Joy, are you going to bet Antigloth and the under?
I'm going to bet Antigloth. Right, I'm going to do that now. I got to.
You bet Antigloth and the under, right?
Antigloth and the under, the under the 1.5. I mean, you know what? No, pass on the total. You know what? I think Antigloth's just going to win this fight. Go with Antigloth. I'm going to bet Antigloth.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now.
I think
I'd show the bet ticket, but
Antigloth, I think, is the right side here. Antigloth. I know, he hasn't been good lately. He's fighting for what could be his UFC career here.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's even in the UFC still.
Yeah.
Just an odd matchup. I don't think they're trying to put that French kid over, or the Russian guy over. I don't know why they would do that.
You're getting almost plus 300, plus 275. And this dude Grisham coming from what? What is it called? The PFL. And like Joey said, they don't turn out always. And the way I'm looking at it is Antigolov's going to have to go after him early and try to take him down. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Apparently, because his last 5 fights have all ended in the first round.
Well, yeah.
It's going to end somewhere down there.
Yeah, somewhere.
2 wins and 3 losses.
Yeah, I think plus 275 on Antigolov's the right side, even though, it's not a guy that I love to be backing, but Antigolov's the side.
And are you going to touch the total in this, Matt?
No, I did not touch it.
But you are going to bet. You are going to bet Antigloth, right?
Yeah, Antigloth.
I just bet him.
Antigloth goes to Joy and the college kids. Matt, so we'll go to the next fight. Next fight is a lightweight matchup. We think the Philly Godfather has been stopped for speeding around 110 miles an hour and arrested. We're not sure. Actually,
we won't see him for a while.
My guy Gotham City Vig just mentioned a good point that actually I want to talk about too. But he said Grisham with an 8-inch reach advantage and will outweigh him by 25 pounds, but minus 350 is just way too much, and I agree 100%.
You agree 100% on betting Antigloth?
Yeah, I agree that minus 350 is way too much to let.
Okay. And just for clarification, going around to recap at the end, are you going to bet Antigloth?
Yes,
Antigloth. Okay, great. Thank you. Next fight is a lightweight matchup. It is Jamie Malarkey. He is minus 140. That switched to about minus 130 as of just right before the showtime. He is an Australian. He is 12-3, 7-2 as far as his KOs, TKOs, 3-0 as far as submissions. The bet count on this goes almost 50% more of the bets have gone on Malarkey than have gone on Zayam. He's fighting, as mentioned, for Zayam, who is from France. He is 10-3, 5-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 4-2 as far as submissions. They call him the Smile Killer. And there is some sharp money that is going on far as Zayam. The lightweight matchup has 2.5 rounds as the over-under. Minus 165 is what it cost you to bet the over. Joey, Odessa, what do you have?
I bet Zayam. I bet Zayam. I bet the French guy. This Malarkey's tough, man. This Malarkey's he got beat down in his last fight against Riddle in Australia. Riddle's the kickboxer. This Zayam is a similar fighter to Riddle, I would say. He lost his UFC debut, but I still think, they both did. Malarkey got beat down pretty good, though. The best thing you could take out of Malarkey's loss was probably the heart he's got. I always use the kid from the 845, the kid that Rivera. You know what I mean? My boy, I always talk about the heart that he's got and everything. And Malarkey, when I think of heart, Malarkey's right up there. He's got a ton of heart. He fought a lot like his last fight with Riddle. It kind of reminded me of like Forrest and Bonner. They just kept going. This kid just kept going and going and going, but he was getting the shit beat out of him. But I like Zayam here, and I bet Zayam.
And would you touch the over because of the heart?
No. Okay. I just bet Zayam. I just bet who I think's going to win it.
The fans are loving your hair, JBL.
What's that?
They're loving the hair. They said JBL's hair is looking really sharp.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That came in from my burner account. When I looked down, I'm actually sending a text in. So whoever that was, thank you very much. I appreciate you seeing the hair. I'm 53. I'm surprised I got hair. And Joy right there has got a pretty nice never mind.
It's a little bald in the back, but
I think you look great, Joy. Matt, what have you got of this fight? Enjoy it. If people are commenting, please interrupt me and let us know people are commenting so we have some more of an interactive show. I'm just having a hard time because I'm trying to keep up with notes and stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a couple here. Somebody said they hope their 100K still safe at Bet Online. I wouldn't keep 100K at any sports book. I don't keep 100K in the bank. I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, I wouldn't keep 100K anywhere, especially a sports book. But I think you'll be all right. I think they're going to work that thing out.
Matt, what do you have in this fight between Malarkey and Zion?
See, Zion, sharp money's on Zion here, but Malarkey's a tough guy, like Joey said. When he was in that fight with Riddell, I think he had 4 straight knockouts until Riddell ended that streak. It's nothing for me here. Nothing for me to bet. It's a pass for me.
Yeah, he's all heart. This kid is all heart. But again, like you said, he had 4 straight wins, but it was against inferior. He looked great. I mean, anybody looks great.
But when you're versing no one.
Yeah, you don't know. There's, Daniel Cormier said there's levels to this. You know what I mean? And there really are. I mean, there's few guys, very few guys. One guy that Steve's good friends with that actually brought it over from was Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
Philly fighter. I mean, he brought, like, before, I mean, a lot of bettors were betting against him because they didn't know how much success he was going to have, but he brought it with him. Some guys bring it with him, and then, some guys don't. But anyways, there's my Eddie Alvarez plug for the day. I'll have a Floyd Mayweather one at some point. I always plug Eddie, Floyd, my boy Baroni. I get a few in there. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You ever plug Paul Felder?
Oh man, I fucking guys. You know what?
It'll never end, Joe.
I'm not a celebrity, or I'd have a celebrity match with. I'll wrestle him. I'll have a wrestling match with him, but I wouldn't box him. He'd knock my head off. Are you kidding me? I'm an old man. I'm 50. He'd probably do all right wrestling. He might, but in a true, pure wrestling match, I won't say I'd kept for him, but I'd beat him pretty clearly. Pure wrestling. Pure wrestling.
So in there we have Joey beating Paul Felder. We have Zion Sharp Money. And Joey on, and we also have JBL with great hair. So that's what comes about that fight. The next fight is a middleweight fight. It is Union Park, who is minus 280. The favorite, obviously, in the fight. 11-4 is Union Park's record. 5-0 as far as KOs, TKOs. 3-2 as far as submissions. He is from Korea. They call him the Iron Turtle. Fighting John Phillips, who as of last night was plus 225. It is over 2-1 bets on Union Park for the total. And John Phillips had the unfortunate spot to be in Kazmat, our boy from Sweden. First debut in UFC, and that didn't end very well in the second round. But he is 22-10 overall, 20-2 as far as KOs, TKOs, 2-6 as far as submissions. He is the Welsh wrecking machine, they call him. He is a southpaw. The over-under stands at 2.5. You get plus 120 to bet the over. Joey Odessa, what do you have for the fight?
Wow, I mean, the game plan, to beat Phillips, you got to take him down. And, I mean, anybody can take this kid. I mean, a junior high wrestler can take this guy down. But if he hits you, he's going to put you to sleep. I mean, he hits hard.
That left hand.
This Park, yeah, what's that?
That left hand.
Yeah, I mean, this Park, here's the thing with this Park. I don't know what kind of brains he's got, but if he's got sense, he's going to go in there and he's going to close distance and take him down. But if he's got any ego at all, any kind of, machismo, anything that resembles thinking that he could stand with Phillips, he's going to go to sleep. I think this fight goes under. I want to see, the fan in me wants to see John Phillips stretch him. And maybe the UFC matched him up with Phillips to do such a thing. But, I don't know. I mean, it's just, you fight to win. You don't fight for fight bonus, fight of the night. All that stuff means nothing. You got to get the win or else you're not going to move on to the next level. And I don't know what, Park is not he's not a world beater. And Phillips will crush him if he hits him. So I like under in this fight. I think under gets there.
Phillips has stopped every opponent that he's won. He has 22 victories. 20 of those have been by KO, TKO. 2 have been by submissions. Matt, are you touching either the over-under on this or either side?
Yeah, I'm with Joey on the under, and I'm leaning Park. I mean, we have our guy Cody Merrow in here. He said, let's go, Joey, let's win some money. And he said, Phillips is trash. He has no shot. And, Phillips
Cody
is...
Merrow.
Yeah,
Cody Merrow throwing some shade on John Phillips.
But,
yeah. No, I mean, he's a good striker. I mean, he can hit, but that's it.
He's just so one-dimensional.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it just hasn't evolved.
All Park has to do is come in with go for the takedown early, and you know what I mean. I like the under here. I bet it, but I do lean Park for the side.
You lean Park,
and the total's kind of high. The total is, I don't understand why fight not go to decision is like minus 180. Starts round 2 is, they're bad. No, I think they're bad numbers. Starts round 2 minus 215. I don't know. Starts round 3 even money. I'm looking at a screen here with a bunch of numbers. I don't know. The total to me doesn't make sense. I think this fight goes under. I think under 2. I think the fight doesn't start round 3. I'm fairly confident this fight does not start round 3. I think there's 2.5s out there. I think it's a bad number. Well, I would say it's a trap, but these guys don't know nothing. You know what I mean? This is just one of those, make a number, write as much action as you can on both sides, and wish for the best. And this is, Jin Park. It's not like these guys studied all Park's fights. It's kind of what I call a paper number. These guys kind of look at the records and just kind of figured it out.
And just for those listening at wherever you are, the over-under totals, reason I'm not saying what the books have, because there were very few bets on totals overall.
True.
And just side. So that's why I'm not saying what this bet as far as the over-under. Joey, what bet did you take? Did you take a bet on the total? And if you did, what bet did you take? Did you take the two?
I did not bet the total in this fight. I would bet under if I bet it. I didn't bet the total. There is
Are you going to bet it?
Under, but I didn't bet it. But I tell you what, I think that, I think it goes under. I don't see this fight starting round 3. You can quote me on that.
Shout out to my man.
Matt,
go ahead. What did you say?
Did you bet this, Matt, on the total?
Yeah, I bet the under on this one.
Okay.
I want to say shout out to my guy, King Gucci 305 in the chat. He's out here talking about what are the odds for Felder versus Joey.
Felder's a huge favorite. Felder's a huge favorite. And let me tell you, though, I might get in Felder's ear. If Felder's price gets too high, I think Felder might do some business.
Straight wager says
It's for charity. And Felder, but no, I don't think so. I pissed him off with the foot sweep thing. I don't think he tanked. He might say in the lead dressing room he's going to throw, but, I don't think he does. I will.
People in the chat have you
I got no shame.
minus 260 in a wrestling match.
Ooh,
minus 260.
Lay it. I can still move. As soon as I get on top, I finish him. But
okay,
whatever.
So just for the record, the last fight.
Stay on point.
Joy, did you have a lean on either Phillips or Union? Did you have a lean on either Phillips or Union?
No, okay. I'm just, as the fan in me wants to see Williams to stretch this kid. I think it'd be funny to see this kid get knocked out.
Okay, and just so people know, before the main event, right before the end of the hour, I'll recap all of these. That's why I'm asking who has what. I'm taking notes on this. That way you'll know all the bets that are made and all the bets that are not made. And the leans, when we say lean, we don't mean an official bet. Just for those out there keeping count at home, it's for your own information. Please use it as you will. Not an official bet. Next fight is a flyweight matchup. It is Gillian Robertson, who is minus 220. It was minus 205 last night. He has about...
She might look like a man, but I'm sorry, that's fucked up. That's so fucked.
You said it.
But you screwed it up. I didn't fucking see it. Sorry.
Wait a minute.
I was bailing you out there.
I'm watching you with Gabe Moranti. And you had the freaking Lithuanian South Africa. So don't talk to me about.
I called a Lithuanian a South African. When I said African, did you see the look on his face?
I did.
He was like, holy shit, there goes my network deal. 7 years ago, we used to break balls. We'd be like, oh, the Polish fighter, he's got no fight IQ. And we do it on the Fight Network, and nobody cared. But now, ever since, it's the truth. Ever since Trump got in, man, we can't say shit. It's brutal.
How about we don't bring up President Trump ever again?
I'm sorry. I don't want to alienate anybody, but it's the truth.
And you weren't saying anything bad. You were saying African, that he was from the continent of Africa.
Yeah, he was from South Africa, but he was white as a ghost. I mean, just stop.
See?
Quit it. I didn't mean it. I know what Morency thought I meant. I know what you think I meant, and, I get it.
You want to shovel? You want to shovel with that burial? Okay. She, Gillian Robertson. She's got about 50% more bets are going on her opponent, which is the favorite, which is the dog here, Poliana Botello. She is plus 180 as of right before showtime. Gillian Robertson is 8-4. She's 1-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 6-1 as far as submissions. She is from Canada. They call her the Savage, and she's fighting the Brazilian, as mentioned, Botelho, who is 8-2. She has 6 of those wins have come by knockout. She has not been knocked out herself. She's been submitted once. She has not submitted anybody. Some sharp money has gone on Botelho. The flyweight matchup is a 1.5 round total. -150 is what it costs you to bet the over. Joey Odessa, without offending anybody of any country, race, sex, or gender, what do you have on this fight?
All right. This fight will not go to decision, minus $1.85. It won't go 3 full.
So you're betting you're betting no decision.
I bet the under. I need under minus 185. Under 3 full minus 185. And you know what? The line's moving against me a little bit. I know some sharp guys that are on Botelho too that matches up with what you said. If I had to bet it and put a gun in my head, I would take Botelho. I mean, Robertson might be able to grind her out, but I think Botelho will catch her coming in.
You take the under on 1.5, right?
No. I bet under 3 full. Under 3 full. Yeah, under 3 full minus 185. Most shops have it. All the U.S. places offer it.
Yep. And Matt, what do you have on this fight?
I actually like Poliano Botelho here. I mean, the big part is her takedown defense. How is that gonna be? Yeah. And she's been pretty good. I mean, I think she's what? Her takedown defense 88%. And I know Robertson has a takedown average of 3.33 every 15 minutes, but I think Botelho gets it done. Sure. Yeah, I think Botelho gets it done here. I like Botelho plus 170. I bet it. I nibbled on it a little bit.
Botelho can bang. You know what? And I saw some pre-fight interviews of her and stuff, and she looked pretty good. Robertson is she's Canadian, so that whole thing with Canadians. I don't want to offend Canada, but I like Botelho.
He's always sacking everyone, man.
It's all good fun. It's all in good fun.
All right, the next fight is a matchup of 2 names I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing. Matuz Gamrot, which I can say, and Gurum Kutateladze is from Georgia. The Gamrot is the favorite here at minus 315. About 30% more bets went on Gurum, I'll call him, the Georgian. Plus 245 is the dog. The Gamrot is from the Polish Southpaw. They call him the Gamer. Off his name, he's 17-0. He's 5-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 4-0 as far as submissions, and this is his UFC highly anticipated debut. Fighting the dog here, Guram from Georgia, 11-2 is his overall record. 7-0 is the KOs, TKO count. 1-1 is submissions. His last loss was back in 2015. He has won his last 8 fights. This is his UFC debut on less than a week's notice. Talking about Guram, the Georgian fighter. The over-under is 2.5 rounds, and it costs you minus 230 to bet the over. Joey, Odessa, what do you like on this fight?
You got 2 guys coming in from, what you would want to call like lesser organizations maybe. I don't want to say B level with KSW, but I think of the 2, they both think they face similar opposition. And this Gamrot looks like he looks like he's going to be something. I think he'll beat the Georgian. I don't know how he'll do against upper level UFC caliber guys. And even after this fight, I mean, you really, he could go out here and knock this guy out in 30 seconds, and we'll be like, we're still going to have our questions about him, because I don't think he's really, he fought Norman Park, you know what I mean? And he stopped him in the 3rd round. That's one name that I see there. He fought Park 3 times. Park was in the UFC. In fact, I'm just going to say what Park did. Park was an Irish fighter. He was in the UFC back in 2015, and he had a losing record in the UFC. Actually, no, he didn't. He had about 500 in the UFC, but he went on the downward spiral. Lost to Tabao, Trinidado, and Kabalov. As far as opponents, and this kid beat him. I think that the 17-0 fighter walks out of here 18-0. The Georgian fighter, whatever. He just, he got in the UFC. He fought over in that, Brave Fighting Championships, I think it was, which is a good organization. But these guys are at the same time, the I don't know. I'm stuttering here, but I don't know how to really say it. I think Gamrot beats him.
I think Gamrot beats him. You just like him?
No, I did not bet it. But wait a second. I want to say that. Okay, no, that wasn't the fight that they bet it. But there's some guys I respect are on Gamrot here. Some guys I respect are on Gamrot.
And Matt, do you have a side or total on this fight?
I don't have anything. I know there's a lot of hype on this guy Gamrot, like Joey said. I don't
How's
know,
that chart?
man.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You said that chart was about even on those guys on Gamrot.
Yeah, there weren't a ton of bets. The bet count was a little bit higher on the Georgian fighter. I think obviously because he's the dog.
Yeah.
But what's funny. I mean, you said I think you said they were about even. That's what these books do. They'll book a fight like this even because there are question marks out there, and that's where sometimes you can find. This Gamrot is he's priced at what here? He's priced at minus 300 figure, 300 average, and he's priced high. But that's where you'll find the perceived value or whatever when these guys. I'll just give them like a 101 here on how it works. I mean, these guys, they're going to book it close because they don't know. They don't want to make him too high. He might look like a 600 favorite after this fight gets over. He might just wipe the mat with the Georgian guy. You know what I mean? But they're not going to put it that high because if they put it that high, they're going to write all dog money. Yeah. And while the favorite might get there, they're not going to. The risk management element of bookmaking. They're not going to put themselves in that position to take a bath on two guys that are debuting in the UFC. I guess that's what I'm saying. I think the number's right. I think it's a good number. And obviously it is because they're writing two-way on it, according to what you said.
Yep. Next fight is a featherweight matchup. Over almost 2-1 bet total is on Thomas Almeida, who is a minus 135 as of last night, fighting Jonathan Martinez, who is plus 105. Almeida is 22-3 as far as his overall record. He has stopped or submitted 20 of those fighters of his 22 victories, 17-2 on KOs, TKOs, 3-0 on submissions. He is a Brazilian southpaw. He has lost 3 of his last 5, and his last fight was January of 2018. There is some sharp money on Thomas Almeida. Jonathan Martinez is the dog here, only slightly at plus 105. His overall record is 12-3. He has never been stopped himself. He has 7 KOs, TKOs to his credit, 2 submissions to his credit, and he is called the Dragon, also a southpaw. 2 fights in 2020 by Jonathan Martinez. He won in August against Sands. It was a KO in the 3rd round. He lost to Ewell in February, which was a split decision. It's a featherweight matchup, as I mentioned, 2.5 rounds. Plus 105 is what you get to bet the over. Joey Odessa, what do you like on this fight?
This Thomas Almeida, he cost me some money. He's been favored in all his bouts in the UFC. He fought, when he started taking a step back was when he fought that Cody Garbrandt, and he was like a 2-1 favorite over him. And, this Almeida, I like Almeida. You know what I mean? I think Almeida is a really good fighter. I think this price is a little cheap, but I'm a guy, it's tough for me to say it because I'm a guy that I've been on this Almeida. I showed up I missed the wedding with Almeida, and I made it to the funeral. I made it to his downward slide. The wedding was when he was coming. I mean, earlier in his career, he was just smashing everybody. He was on the downward side. Martinez, I think this Martinez is a fighter that he keeps you honest. I said this on the show earlier in the week. Like if Almeida is looking past this guy or thinks he's going to have a walk in the park with him, this is the kind of kid. I don't want to compare him to a Brian Barber. And this kid's going to give an honest fight. This Martinez. And if Almeida goes out there, Almeida could lay an egg out there, but I think Almeida wins this fight. I thought he'd be priced a little bit higher, but I guess people are throwing caution to the wind because he has, he's laid an egg in a couple of his last fights against Rob Font, Jimmy Rivera, Cody Garbrandt. I had him in all those fights, and I lost money on him. I think
you place the bet on Almeida in this fight?
No, again, I'm throwing caution to the wind. I think Almeida wins the fight. I expected it to open up higher. I expected Almeida to be about minus 200 here. And, again, I'm not a value guy. I don't bet value. I bet guys I think can win. And while I do think Almeida can win, I just got my teeth kicked in with him. And he also, I believe they're betting the other side. He looked like 150. What did you say the chart on it was?
There's some sharp money on Almeida.
On Almeida. I think the sharp money is on Almeida, but not my sharp money, not this time. But that doesn't mean I bet Martinez. It just means that, man, he just kicked my teeth in so many times that I can't do it. It's like betting the Jets. It's just...
Not the Jets.
It's true.
It's
true.
Matt, what do you have on this fight?
This one's a tough one. If I had to pick a side here, gunpoint, I'd have to go Martinez. 7 on Martinez, 12 wins to come. I think knockout, and I think he has a shot to knock out Almeida here. I didn't bet it. I didn't put nothing on it. But if I had to pick a side, I'm going Martinez here.
Yeah, I mean, Almeida is probably the most this week. I mean, you don't see a guy that's 22-3 that's got so many question marks around him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just don't know what we're going to get with him. And I do know that Martinez is going to give Martinez. I mean, this Martinez kind of guy that I want if I'm in a bar or something. You know what I mean? He get kids all in.
Plus, Almeida, he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Martinez is never going to be a world champ, but Martinez is going to beat guys that overlook him. You know, that's just my thought on Martinez. I think it's a great matchup. It's do or die for Almeida. If he loses this, you know, I mean, I think he'll stay with the UFC because he's got this shiny record. But
Matt, did Cody Merrow say anything about my hair?
Not seeing nothing about your hair.
We got a new guy in chat, Lord Honky. He's guy's phenomenal with tape. Follow him on. He puts tape up on all these guys on Twitter. It's just great stuff. Every fight, guys you never even heard of that are coming into the UFC. I mean,
what
if you're
is his
not
name?
following, Lord Honky. It's Lord Honky. I think on his Twitter, it's I think it's Lord Honky Humongous. I think it's Mr. Honky on Twitter. I chat with him every week. Super guy, man. He's always you name a fighter and he'll get tape on it. I mean, he's solid. He's been around for a long time.
We have Paul Padilla saying the tree is talking. The wise old tree.
The wise old tree.
Wise old tree. Wise old tree got a little fighty this week.
I think a dog from Oklahoma walked up and took a piss on that tree last week, didn't it?
We're no longer friends.
Oh, all right.
The tree said he would tree slap your ass. That's what the tree said. If you got it wrong. For those that don't know, we got a wise old tree that is our mascot, and on our Twitter, give out our 5 free picks. We're entered in the Circus Sports $1 Million NFL contest, and we get 5 picks every single week. The wise old tree, which is our mascot, is giving out those free picks. He hacked us and is giving out those free picks on our Twitter every single week. And the tree has gotten a little bit cantankerous lately, threatening people. The next fight is a welterweight matchup. We're to the main card. It is Claudio Silva, a recognizable name, 14-1. As Claudio Silva. His solo loss came in his first fight in November of 2007. It was a DQ in the first round. Claudio Silva is a Brazilian, as you would guess, southpaw, 14-1, as I said, 2-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 9-0 as far as submissions. About 50% more of the bets are on Claudio Silva than they are his opponent, James Krause. They call Claudio the Hannibal. James Krause is the favorite here, though, at minus 145. 27-9 overall record, 8-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 14-3 as far as submissions. It's a welterweight matchup. 2.5 rounds is the over/under. Minus 155 is what it costs you to bet the over. And James Krause took this on very short notice. He has one fight in 2020, which was a loss. Joey Odessa.
On short notice also. I was on short notice also. This number surprised me. I doubled down. I usually bet everything for the same amount. And I'm not telling anybody else to do this, but I doubled up here on Silva as a dog. Silva, he doesn't fight every year. And this Krause, he lost a split decision to Giles last time out. And I think Krause is pretty tough, but man, I think this is Silva. This Silva, arguably, he's undefeated, and it's not just about record. He's 5-0 in the UFC. He just wins, man. Just one of them guys that just gets it done. And I think Silva wins this fight. I don't know how you could open James Krause on short notice, whether it was a lot of these guys are on standby anyway, but I don't know how you could open James Krause as high. They opened at minus 205.
Minus 205.
I think that the value guys, the handicappers, I don't know how anybody couldn't bet Claudio Silva in this fight, expecting at least a pay, it's better than a toss-up. I think Silva wins the fight. I doubled down on Silva. I got Silva plus money.
Yeah, I like Silva.
Did you have a bet?
Yeah, I actually bet Silva yesterday. He has some of the best, jiu-jitsu in his division. I'm looking at Krause. I know he has some jiu-jitsu. He, great cardio, but I'm looking at this fight and I can't see Silva not winning. Don't you agree, Joey?
Yeah, I got Silva. I mean, I think that, look, I think Kraus might be able to work him on the feet, but I think Silva's going to get it to the ground, and I think he's technical enough to sub him. Yeah. I really do. I think Kraus is a tough kid, but I think Kraus gets too much. I don't know. I don't know where Kraus's respect started coming. Maybe because of that Ultimate Fighter show. What was he on, TUF 30 or something?
Especially laying 200 too high. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised. Yeah. You don't see guys coming in on short notice, with the exception of guys like Chimaev and, guy can crushers that this is, you open at 200. I mean, Silva's, I'd just say Silva's no bitch. You know what I mean? That's the only way I could really say it. I think Silva's tough, man. I think he's good.
Yeah. The next fight we have is a light heavyweight matchup. We're on the main card, as I mentioned. Jimmy Crute is the favorite here. Is minus 315 last night, minus 300 as of right before the show. He has 50% more bets going on Jimmy Crute as compared to his opponent, who is the dog in this at plus 245. Modesta Bukauskas, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Jimmy Crute is 11-1, 4-0 KOs, TKOs, 4-1 as far as submissions. He is an Australian. He fought one time in 2020. He won as a submission in the first round against a Polish fighter that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Modesto Bukauskas is Lithuanian. He's 11-2 record, 8-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 2-1 as far as submissions. He has won his last 7 fights, and all 7 of those fights have come by finishes, 5 KOs, 2 submissions. His last loss was in 2016. It's a light heavyweight matchup. As mentioned, it's a 1.5 total on the rounds. You get plus 105 to bet the over on this. Joey, what do you like in this fight?
This kid did this Modestus beat the Greek kid that I really liked. I had the Greek kid to beat him last time out. What was his name?
Andreas Michailidis.
Andreas Michailidis. He beat that kid. They stopped it after the first round. The kid, I guess the Greek kid, I don't know if he quit after the round, whatever happened. But I respect this Bukauskas kid. I think that, I think it's a winnable fight for him. I really do. I think this Bukauskas, and they're betting, who they bet that? They looks like they bet Crew. I think that Bukauskas is, how do we say his name is? I think he's I just think he's the right side here.
Yeah.
Did you bet it?
Yeah, I did. I sure did. Let me see what I got. Tell you exactly what I have.
And also, I forgot to mention when talking to the book that we got some of these bets totals from, there was reportedly some, quote, very sharp money that was on Modestus. So, Matt, do you have anything on this fight?
The line's moving the other way, too. It says a lot about the fight. It's crazy.
So you got a reverse line movement for Modesta, right?
It seems that way, yeah. It sure does. I saw a 350 out there on Crew at one point. So, yeah, I think that, I think the Bukauskas, but I think that the dog's got a shot here.
I think Modestus Bukauskas has a shot here. I think he's a live dog. I mean, he's going to have to move and strike in the fight, but I think, what is he, plus 2? What is he right now, John? Plus what, 250?
He was plus 245 as of just earlier today.
Yeah, I might have to go with Modestus here. I mean, I think he has a shot. I really do.
If Crute stands with him,
yeah.
Crute, Crute doesn't really impress me.
I might be. I don't know. I'm still up in the air. I didn't bet it yet.
As a maybe.
Yeah,
now, let me ask you this, Matt. If I were to get a phone call right now from a certain Jonathan Coachman, and he told me that he liked Jimmy Crute.
Oh, I'm burying it.
Yeah.
All out burial.
Coaches do.
Get back up the Briggs truck. Because we do 3 words. Fade the coach.
We all know Crute's going to end up breaking his leg, so, I mean.
That's right. For those that don't remember, Coach bet on O'Malley and said that he was the second coming of Conor McGregor, and O'Malley broke his leg in the first round. So since then, we've faded the coach. The coach knows his golf. We're not so sure about UFC. That's why we wish Coach were here so we could tell him all this in person. He's doing the right thing. I believe he's taking his young son out to play some baseball this weekend, which is a good dad as a coach should be, which he is. And we're not
He blew us off for Tiger. He blew us off for Dave Shambo. He blew us. He's always got a reason he's not here with us.
He does. That is pretty much true, Joy. Yes. So
he's consistent. He's consistent.
Forget the nice things I said about Coach. We don't like it. On to the next fight, which is the semi-main event. And this is the number 3 versus the number 4 featherweight in the world. The number 3 is Caitlin Chukagian. She is at plus 130. And as far as earlier today, that's changed just a little bit. 14-3 overall record. She's 2-1 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-0 submissions. She has fought twice in 2020, both against Shevchenko. Shevchenko.
Shevchenko.
Sisters there. 2 sisters.
Yep.
Sisters.
She had a loss.
I got you here, JBL. I'll help you.
She fought 2 different people.
She fought the sister. She got her ass beat by the one sister, by Valentina. And then Antonia, she beat Antonia, who she wasn't supposed to beat. I mean, she was supposed to beat her, but, you know, the UFC was pumping up the sister. They were trying to sell the fight on the name. But, yeah, they're 2 different. They're sisters.
The first sister she fought in February, that was the loss. In May, she's vicious. Yeah, she's awesome. She's the one that they called the spy and Kate, you know, the agent, whatever. I mean, she's fucking vicious. 9 of her last 10 fights, talking about Chukagian, have gone to decision. She's fighting Jessica Andrade. Andrade is 20-8 overall record, 7 KOs to her credit, TKOs, 3 she has lost by KO, TKO, 7-2 as far as submissions. She has lost her last 2 fights, but some sharp money was on Andrade. As far as bet total, it's almost exactly evenly split between the 2 fighters. The over-under is 2.5. Minus 255 at what it costs you to bet the over. Joy, Odessa, what do you have on this fight?
I bet Andrade. You know, I liked her to win this fight. She's up in weight. But Chukagian, I believe part of Chukagian's corner didn't make this trip. You know, but I don't even think that matters. She's talking about starting a family. She's talking about this being her last fight. And you're not getting none of that out of Andrade. I think that I bet Andrade here. I bet her before Chukagian gave the interview to Akamoto at ESPN. I bet her because I just, you know, I heard that she wasn't, I don't want to say she's not 100% committed to fighting, but I mean, this is, you know, when you're at this level, you got to be committed. And then when you start talking about starting a family and retirement, I mean, it's just a big red flag, you know, especially against
something on the fight. Matt, do you have something on this fight?
Yeah, I actually had Chukagian, and she holds that 8-inch height advantage and a big 6-inch reach advantage, and I just felt like that was going to get her and to overcome Andrade. But like Joey said, that interview wasn't, you know, too pleasant of an interview to hear as a bettor. But I still like Chukagian, if that's how you say her name. I bet her, and that's the side that I went with.
Yeah, she, you know, the thing with Chukagian, I mean, I'm not going to compare Andrade to the Valentina Shevchenko, but Chukagian had a pretty good size advantage over her. 2 different fighters, I get it. You know, everybody's bigger than Andrade, I think. I think that she looked good up in weight. I think she looked healthy. I think she looked thick. And I think she's going to take her head off, but we'll see.
Now, we're to the main event, so I'm going to recap the entire card that we just went through and let people know bets. Remember to say it's a lean. That is not an official bet. We don't count it either for us or against us. Just so you know the vernacular that we use. The first fight, Nurmagomedov, the Russian against Striegel, in his UFC debut. There were no bets being made. The price was too high on the Russian at minus 400, almost 4-1. Second fight, light heavyweight matchup, Antigloth versus Grisham. Joey leaned the under, but Joey and Matt both took Antigloth. The next fight is Jamie Malarkey versus Faris Zayam. Had some sharp money on Zayam, and Joey also placed a bet on Zayam. The next fight, Union Park in a middleweight matchup with John Phillips. The college kids, Matt likes the under. Matt, did you take the under on this?
Which fight again was that?
This was Union Park versus John Phillips.
Yeah, the under and leaned Park.
Thank thank you. Because I had some notes here. I wasn't sure which one was which. Joey leaned the under, did not take the under. Matt took the under. And Matt, you also took Union Park, not a lean, right?
Yeah, I lean Park. I didn't take her.
Lean Park. Okay, trying to get all our phrasing right for those that are at home that are trying to bet on these fights. Cody Merrill, I have some great hair if you're still watching, by the way. Next fight is a women's fight, as I missed that earlier when I said he. Gillian Robertson and Poliana Botello. Botello had some sharp money on her. Matt also nibbled on Botello as well. Yeah. Joey had the under 3, not the under 1.5, the under 3 as in full.
Under 3 full. Under 3 full.
Under 3 full fights.
Yep. Three
Next
full
fight is Gamrot versus Guram. First name, I have a hard time pronouncing the Georgian's last name, so we'll try. Joey leans on Gamrot, which is in his UFC debut. Guram also is in his UFC debut. Next fight is Thomas Almeida versus Jonathan Martinez, a featherweight matchup. Joey leans Almeida. There's some sharp money on Almeida. The college kids lean the opposite on Jonathan Martinez. Next fight, the main card, Claudio Silva. Joey and the college kids took the Brazilian southpaw Claudio Silva over James Krause. Next fight, light heavyweight matchup, Jimmy Crute versus Modestas, and I'm not going to pronounce his last name. The Lithuanian has a name that's tough for me. Joey is taking Modestas, and Matt said that he might. I'm not sure yet. So that's a strong lean, I think.
Strong lean as of now.
Next fight, women's matchup, semi-main event, Caitlin Chukagian, the flyweight matchup against Jessica Andrade. We have a split here. We have Matt from the college kids taking Chukagian and Joey taking Andrade. So now we're to the main event, and just give you guys a heads up here. I always ask the Philly Godfather to give us something free, and he promised us a free NFL move. So I'm not going to put you on the spot here, Matt. Well, actually, I am going to put you on the spot.
I actually do.
We're going to ask you for something free after the main event. Enjoy. We got something in Twitter. Asked us about the Loma fight tonight. I'm going to ask you for a free pick, too. Just going to ask for all kinds of stuff. Otherwise, I'll have the wise old tree hack your account. Next fight is your main event, and it is almost evenly split as far as money. It's a featherweight matchup. Brian Ortega is plus 155. He is 14-1, 3-1, KOs, TKOs. He's submitted 7 people. He's never been submitted himself. They call him T-City. His last fight was his sole loss. It was a TKO by doctor stoppage in the 4th round against Holloway. It was 22 months ago was his last fight. Fighting Chun Sung Young, the Korean zombie. He's 16-5, 6-3 as far as KOs, TKOs, 8-0 as far as submissions. Featherweight matchup has a 2.5 round total, minus 115, minus 115. So it's actually evenly split on the over/under, which is a 2.5. Joey Odessa, what do you have in the main event?
I bet Jung. I can't bet Ortega. I mean, Ortega hasn't played. His last fight was December 8, 2018. And Jung's rattled off 2 straight wins since then. You know, I like the momentum being with Jung. You know, I think Jung wins. I didn't think Ortega will pick. I saw him at the weigh-in, and I don't put a lot of stock into the weigh-ins, but I just didn't like what I saw. I think Jung beats him. I do, and I bet him. I bet Jung. I bet the favorite.
I bet Jung as well. Yeah, I agree 100%. Ortega hasn't fought in 2 years. Last time he did, I think he got his socks beaten off him. I know there's some. It was Holloway, right? Just knocked him off.
Stopped him. And Holloway played a blueprint how to beat him. You know.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it, and there's some conflict. Something about his translator. I don't know if you heard about that, Joey.
Yeah, he smacked the guy.
Yeah. I like Jung here. I think he's gonna come in. He's gonna win this fight. I bet Jung.
Yeah,
also, well, there you have the entire UFC card. I hope you've enjoyed it. Good luck tonight on tonight's fights. But as I always do, I always beg, plead, and usually it's the Philly Godfather, but now taking the place of the Philly Godfather, very admirably, by the way, is Matt of the college kids. So, Matt, do you have something free we can get for NFL, college football, anything free?
I have 2 free moves, actually.
Ooh, I like 2. Two's
Game
good.
7.
Good. That's a good number.
Game 7. The Rays. Take the Rays. I love them tonight. And then Sunday Night Football.
Oh, no! No.
I'm
no,
sorry, John.
no.
I'm sorry. They're going down. They're going down. But
You know, finally, the rest of baseball quit cheating, and the Houston Astros have done really well since then.
it'll
So
be
you-
amazing if they win this game and they go to the World Series, end up winning the World Series, and proving everyone that was, doubting them, saying names about them, this, that, and proving them wrong. It'd be amazing. Great
You're
storyline, but
saying I'm going to have a bad night tonight.
it's going to be a bad night.
Oh, terrible.
but-
I shouldn't have asked for something free. I hate to even hear that news.
One more free one is I really do love the Rams Sunday night. I think they're going to come in and they're going to take the division from San Fran and show them who runs their division this year. But one thing I want to say is shout out to my guy Recon Bob. He's in the chat. Hope you get well soon, my man.
Terrific shout out. Thanks to everybody who's out there commenting. We greatly appreciate it. We're trying to be more interactive. We just don't have enough computer screens, and plus, me and Joey are both half 100 years old, so we're not very good at computers. Joey, I want to ask you though, because they had some people on Twitter asking about the Loma fight. Now, I'm putting you 100% on the spot, but I assume that you probably looked at this fight and probably have some type of an opinion. What's your opinion?
Lomachenko beats him. Here's my thought. And I got this somewhere else, and I just thought it was a great comparison. Somebody said, look back when Fernando Vargas stepped up. He had 20 wins, and he banked 20 wins. He stepped up with Tito Trinidad, and that was a great fight. I mean, Trinidad dropped him 3 times in the first round. Vargas came back in the 4th round, dropped Trinidad. Then Trinidad ended up beating the shit out of him until like the 11th round. They stopped it. But my point here is this: I think that Lomachenko is technically just a much level above boxer than Tio. And Tio's good, but he's not Lomachenko. And I think that the only way Lomachenko gets in trouble is if he gets careless out there, like Tito did against Vargas in the 4th round. He kind of just, he knocked him about 3 times in the first. He said, shit, I'm going to steamroll this guy. Got cute, and Vargas kept him honest. And I think it's the same thing here. I think Lomachenko, the first 3 or 4 rounds, Tio might land some punches on him. Look, anybody can land punches the first couple rounds where when you got a technical guy trying to figure you out. Conor McGregor landed some on Floyd, or at least, they look good. It just, I think Lomachenko beats him. I also think that Tio had a lot of nervous energy and all the pre-fight stuff. I mean, he's carrying a lot with him. His dad has just been talking a massive amount of shit, and that's just
the emotion on this fight has been excellent. I've been watching this stuff all day on TV. It's awesome.
No, but I mean, anybody that's competed, you know what I mean, at a high level in an individual sport, when you have a parent like kind of just putting it out there that, look, my son's going to do this. I mean, I saw it with I seen it with that kid that fought. Anyway, it happens all the time. It's a tough thing to carry. It's a tough burden to carry when you feel like you carry not the weight of the world on your shoulders, the weight of your family, which is much bigger than the world, I think. And I think that Teofimo Lopez showed a lot of nervous energy. Loma was ice cold in those interviews, it's just another day for him. 396-1 as an amateur, 14-1 as a pro. Teo's 15-0 as a pro. But, like I said, I think it's too much too soon for him. I think he's coming up too soon. That's my thought. I think Lomachenko beats him. He's priced at -400, so I'm not like, unraveling some great, giving out some great riddle of a game plan to beat him. I just think Lomachenko, he's the right 4-1 favorite. And they're betting at Lopez. I heard one shop in Vegas said they had 96% of the money or something, which I can't even.
Crazy.
What bookmaker in the world is going to write 96% of their action on one side? I read that somewhere. I mean, that's just stupid. I saw a guy from I'll use this example. I saw a guy at WSEX open Tarver against Jones. He opened up Jones -600. Everybody else was dealing at 400. Of course, he's going to write all the money on Tarver. He told the guy.
The letters you just said?
Yeah, Tarver. So he wrote.
No, what was he? What?
WSCX. It was a place in Antigua. It was a sports book. And Jay Cohen, who went to the trial.
WX?
It was one of the big ones on the island of Antigua. No shit. It was a huge book. Yeah, it was. They were featured on HBO and shit. What with this knucklehead, and they fired him after it. He said to me, "So I got information. This is the second Tarver fight when Tarver fought Jones." And Tarver said, "You got any excuses tonight, Roy?" Anyway, what was my point? I got so distracted here with my point. You
had W6.
No, my point is that how do you write 96% of your action on one side? That's what they did. and they got carried out on the stretcher because Tarver fucking knocked them out. But anyways, and then I talked to the owner like afterwards. I said, "What were you guys doing?" He goes, "I don't know what we're doing, but we ain't fucking doing it no more. That kid's gone." That's what he said to me on the phone. WSCX ended up going out of business shortly after. One guy fucking killed himself. I mean, I don't want to say nothing bad. But no, I mean,
better.
You got guys.
Well, look, we got to go because we're right at the top of the hour. We try to get done within an hour. Matt, did you have any view on this fight? I know you love boxing and you love to study boxing. If you don't, that's cool. I'm putting you totally on the spot.
I'm with Joey Lomachenko. Take it.
That's right.
I mean, I'm laying it.
Express, baby.
That seems to be the consensus. So this is
fire.
Follow the Action. That's right. We fire. Joey, we fire. Get your guns up, Joey. Joey, get your guns up. I'm not stopping till you go, Joey. Joey, you got to do better than that. Come on, Joey. Come on, Joey. This is Follow the Action. I'm John Layfield for the future of sports betting. Matt of the college kids. Best combat sports handicapper alive. Mr. Joe Dessa, Mr. Joey Bagels. Thank you very much for joining us. Good luck on those NFL bets, the boxing fight tonight, and, of course, the UFC card. Have a great night.